They got the distress call from their daughter about the incident.
When I got the call from my daughter around 2 a.m., I felt that something must be wrong. And then when I heard her voice panting, I felt like leaving my house at that time to go to the school because she's just a first year student. I could imagine the traumatic circumstances the children faced. I felt that living inside the campus would be safer. But this incident now and the stories I've heard of this thing has happened before, it's not something I'm comfortable with. If something concrete, if no good action is carried out, I will reconsider.
The disappointed father called for an overhaul of the school's security system to ensure safety of the students.
There's no way somebody that doesn't know the environment very well could have done this. If you leave the school environment and within that back gate from 6, 7, 8 downwards, very corrupt environment because of the activities that you see in that. But I expect the VC should get down to work and find out who and who are involved. They can't just tell us that they're on top of the situation and then walk away. Also, I expect the governor to run a riot act on the security arrangement in that school, including the VC. If he's not competent, you should change it because we're talking of the life of our children.
Earlier, some of the female students who protested over the robbery incident accused the school authority of negligence and extortion.
They used machetes and guns. They were harming girls, collecting their phones, their property, scattering everywhere. They even molested some girls, attempted rape, and everyone was crying.
This is not the first time it's happening. It's not the second time. I think this is the third time it's happened, and the school is not doing anything about it. If we are seen wearing short dresses, open clothes, they'll tell us that we should pay 5K. But they could not come out yesterday when those boys they were robbing us. It was only the man or the females that were even trying to stop those persons. But the school security, they did nothing. They could not do.
We don't want anything. Give us security. Live our life. Give us security. Stop harassing us. And this is security have been harassing us since we came to this school. Leave us alone. Don't stop us at the gate. We're not safe anymore. We should give them more security.
One of the victims of the robbery attack also spoke to our correspondent.
The moment I raised the net to bring out my head, I just received about 2 resounding slaps on my ear. And he was like, bring the phone. My hand was still with my phone. And he used the machete on my leg. He hit me about 2 times. The third one, he turned the machete like he wanted to give me like a cut. That was when I ran and I left with my phone. They made away with a phone in my room. And the other room, they went away with laptop, phones, POS. They went away with my AirPod. I've been referred to RSU Teaching Hospital for further treatment. No student particularly was raped, nearly assaulted.
Our correspondent gathered that the armed robbers attacked hostels, CD and the NDDC hostel of the Rivers State University. The students also said the armed robbers attempted to rape them. Staying with this, the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, Emeka Wonyi, has directed the Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations, Area Commander Port Harcourt, and the Divisional Police Officer Umbolu to provide adequate security on the campus of the Rivers State University. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, Grace Iringekoko, said the CP issued the directive after receiving reports of the attack at the school. The State CP also called for vigilance and urged students, parents, and the school management to take advantage of the police control room numbers 0803 200 3514 and 0809 888 0134 to report suspicious activities. Reacting to this, a former student leader, Charles Jaja, called for a thorough investigation into the attack.
It's unfortunate, and it shows you that university is non-porous. This, for a long time, have never happened. There should be a restructuring of the security architecture in that university, starting with the removal of the chief CSO of that school, as far as I'm concerned. Because you can imagine when properties were stolen and then people were raped for that number of hours. Things of that nature was happening in that kind of a place. It's unfortunate. In the same place, the chief security officer ought not to remain in that place for 1 minute.
In another development, a magistrate court in Port Harcourt has reserved judgment until September 25 on the 1-count sexual assault allegation against the suspended lecturer at the university, the Rivers State University, Professor David Ogbonna. Recall that a 20-year-old female student of the Department of Microbiology accused Professor Ogbonna of sexually assaulting her in his office in 2022. When the matter came up for judgment yesterday, parties were informed of the absence of the presiding chief magistrate, Pormon Menenem. As you may know, Professor Ogbonna was first arraigned by the Rivers State Police Command on one count of alleged rape of a 20-year-old student of Rivers State University before the state government took over the prosecution of the matter. Although the accused had pleaded not guilty to the offense and was granted bail to pave the way for trial, the offense is punishable under Section 360 Cap 37 of the Criminal Code laws of Rivers State. Moving on. The member representing Ikwere State constituency at the Rivers State House of Assembly, Prince Lemchi Nyeche, says that the appointment of the immediate past governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, as FCT minister is timely and strategic. Mr. Nyeche said this while addressing newsmen at the Port Harcourt International Airport shortly after his arrival from the ministerial inauguration. He said he believed that Abuja will witness tremendous development under Wike's administration as FCT minister.
Yes, so we believe will implement the master plan of Abuja and ensuring that everything that is contained in that master plan will be implemented to its fullness. We're optimistic that yes, so having done well as state governor of Rivers State, will also do more than what he has done in Rivers State at the capital territory. Nigeria should expect a tremendous development because yes, so is somebody we know that wouldn't want to reduce the standard of governance at that level. And is a man that shows capacity.
The lawmaker also thanked President Bola Tinubu for finding the FCT minister worthy to serve in that capacity.
So many people are so confused about the benefits and what that means. As the Minister of FCT, you are in charge of the FCT Development Authority. And also in that ministry, we are aware that we have about 6 local governments that are in the Federal Capital Territory under that same ministry, and so many other parastatals and agencies. I think the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria has done the needful, ensuring that he puts a round peg in a round hole.
Meanwhile, the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, says the ministry will pay the hospital bills of the victims of the collapsed 2-story building in Abuja. The minister said this when he visited the scene of the collapse alongside the FCT Minister of State, Baria Mahmood, and the Permanent Secretary, Olushade Adeshola, before embarking on a project tour. The FCT minister also ordered the arrest of the fleeing landlord of the collapsed 2-story building.
Nobody's happy. These are the things we are trying to forestall. So also, I sympathize with those who have lost their lives, and government will take all the bills of those who are alive. I'm 35 that are alive. Not that we are happy that 2 are dead. No, we don't want anybody to die. And I want everyone to support those who are working here to make sure they get to the last level, so that if there are people that are still there, God willing, will pray that they are alive.
2 people were critically injured, while 37 others were rescued from the rubble of the collapsed building. Earlier, tenants of the collapsed building accused the landlord and authorities of ignoring initial warnings about the building. The survivors said they complained about imminent collapse of the structure on several occasions to the landlord, but he ignored them. The angry tenants also blamed failure of relevant government agencies to inspect facilities in the building before the incident. Scores of demonstrators clashed with security operatives outside the premises of the national headquarters of the APC a few hours before the inauguration of the new zonal offices of the party's National Working Committee. The protesters engaged the policemen in a shouting match after they were stopped from gaining access to the secretariat. It came after Senator Ajibola Basiru, the party's national secretary, announced the election of the zonal officers of the NWC. Still to come, Nigeria's unemployment rate drops. Stay tuned.
The Omunkwo Isila
His unemployment rates dropped to 4.1% in the first quarter of 2023 from the 5.3% it was in the fourth quarter of 2022. The Bureau said in a report released yesterday that it enhanced its methodology for collecting labor market data through the Nigeria Labor Force Survey in line with International Labor Organization guidelines. The Bureau said about 3/4 of working-age Nigerians quarter of 2023. It said that it shows that most people were engaged in some type of job for at least 1 hour a week for pay or profit. Away from that, an environmentalist, Dumnamene Fineface, says the delay by the Joint Investigation Team to visit communities where oil spills occurred is an indication that critical stakeholders like Nostra, the company, and the community may be compromised. Mr. Fineface said this in an interview with correspondent Soebi Uruwari.
Has not taken steps to go there and see what they could do. Nostra is supposed to have taken steps at this point in time to bring the operator together on that Trans-Niger Delta pipeline and also bring the community people together, other critical stakeholders, to go and investigate what caused the oil spill and then release a joint investigation, reports on that particular spill. But to date, Nostra has not done anything on that side. We do not even understand whether Nostra still exists. And if Nostra exists, why are they failing to carry out their mandate when they are taking salary as having worked for the month?
In the meantime, a native of Bodo, who is also an environmentalist, Damien Gbogbara, has urged Shell Company to comply with the recommendations of the UNEP report by decommissioning their equipment in the area to stop further occurrence of the oil spill. Mr. Gbogbara said this while complaining on the refusal of Nostra to constitute the JIV team to the site of the fresh oil spill that occurred 7 days ago in Bodo community.
That will tell us what caused the oil spill.
UNEP report admonished Shell to decommission their facilities and, conduct integrity tests on the one that they are still using. And I want to advise them to do this thing because it's quite unfortunate that things like this keep happening in the community. And each time it happens, it brings about crisis in the community as extension. Put a stop to the incessant oil spill that occurs in Bodo. Let Nostra move in without wasting of time to be able to determine what is the cause of this spill and also to make provision to douse the tension in the community.
In other news, oil marketers are insisting on a possible hike in the pump price of petrol following a further plunge in the value of the naira against the dollar. The local currency weakened against the dollar at the black market from 900 naira per dollar on Wednesday to 920 naira to a dollar on Thursday. President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to vote out governors who are not performing up to expectation. The president made the appeal on Thursday while responding to the request of some Islamic scholars that the federal government should monitor the distribution of palliatives given to states to cushion the effects of the removal of petrol subsidy.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Former President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, was arrested at a Georgia jail yesterday on racketeering and conspiracy charges. He was released on a $200,000 bond after having a historic mugshot taken.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this morning, you heard that Governor Fubara has visited the Rivers State University after hoodlums attacked female hostels and caused a protest. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has directed the payment of hospital bills of victims of collapsed buildings. Nigeria's unemployment rate has dropped. On the foreign scene, former U.S. President Donald Trump has taken a historic mugshot as he was arrested in Georgia yesterday. The news was edited by Chioma Ezewa for mostly cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this morning. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp 0808 721 7215. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. Good morning.